Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's challenging level puzzle. And it's called Let Me Count the Ways by Andrew Sarkis. And here are the rules. We have Latin square rules where we need to fill the grid with digits from 1 through 6 such that no digit repeats in a row or a column. We have clues inside the grid indicate a relationship between the digit contained and the number of digits up to 8 in which a straight arrow can be drawn such that the digits on the arrow sum to the digit in the clued cell. Arrow, okay. For full circles, the number of directions is exactly equal to the digit. So this is saying that whatever the digit is here, we have that many directions which can have an arrow on it where the digits on the arrow sum to the digit digit in the clued cell. Interesting. Huh. So that means you could have something like 5 here, and you could have, I guess, like something like, or maybe 6 would be a better example. 6, you could have 1, 2, 3 here. 1, 3, 2, and then you could have 6 in this direction, and 1 and 5 in that direction, and 4 and 2 in that direction, and 1 and 5 in that direction. So this would be, for example, that would be 1 arrow, 2 arrow, 3 arrow, 4 arrow, 5 arrow, and I guess we could have another one. So say we had a 6 there. So this would be an example of a potential where the full circles would work. Because the number of directions, the number of directions where a straight arrow can be drawn such that the digits on the arrow sum to the digit in the clued cell. So this would be 6, which has the possibility of 6 arrows in 6 directions adding up to 6. And that works for all the full circles. The number of directions is exactly equal to the digit. We have half circles, where the number of directions is exactly half of the digit. And we have quarter circles, where the number of directions is exactly 1/4 of the digit. So that means this actually can't work because you can't have 5 here, because the number of directions would be half of the digit, which would mean it would be 2.5, which is obviously not valid. So for quarter circles, the number of directions is exactly 1/4 of the digits. So therefore, that sort of implies a certain thing there. And we have all possible clues have been given. So therefore, all possible full circles, half circles, and quarter circles have been given in this grid. As an example of, so let's say this was half of the digit. So say this was 4. That means in 2 of these directions, let's just say this was 4, and then let's ignore these. So that means in exactly 2 of these directions, you have arrows which you can put in straight lines, which would sum up to 4. So you could have, say, 3 and 1 here, You could have a 4 here. This would be, I don't know, 5 and 6 or whatever. We have 2 and 6 there, and then we say we have a 6 here. So in this, for this half circle, we have this direction, which could add up to an arrow. This, which could add up to arrow. These cannot, this cannot, and this cannot. So we have 2 directions, which is, the number of directions is exactly half of the digit, which it is, which 2 is half of 4. So that's how half circles work. And quarter circles, well, you'll figure that out. Anyways, those are all the rules. If you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, quarter circles. The number of directions is exactly 1/4 of the digit. Well, the only digit you can take 1/4 of in 1 through 6 is 4. So this has to be 4. This has to be 4, and that has to be 4. So only one direction can you add up digits along a straight line to add up to 4 for those. This has to be 2 or 6. Because again, it's half of that, right? Remaining digits in row 4 then are 1 through 6 without a 4. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Half a circle, again, has to be 2, 4, and 6. So those are all 2, 4, and 6. 2 and 6 here, 2 and 6 here. We have a 2, 6, 2, 6 pair in row 3, which eliminates 2 and 6 in the rest of the row. So it's 1, 3, 4, 5 there. This is 2, 4, or 6 here. So 2 would have to be either the sum of 1 and 1 or 2, right? 6 could be in 3 directions. One can only be in one direction, which means huh. 4 is in one direction. So which directions can we not have valids? This cannot be, because that has to be, it has to be, if it's in the same column or row, it's 1 and 3. So this potentially could be. This potentially could be. For a full circle on the edge, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 directions. So that's 1 through 5, but no 4 is valid there. Could 5 work here? 5 would have to be all 5 directions, so no, because they would have to have a 5 here in this direction. So this is 1, 2, or 3. 3 cannot work this way. 3, 2, and 1 cannot work this way at all. It could work that way. This is 1 through 6 here. That's fine. The problem, okay, so part of the problem is, yeah, I need to be able to sort of have a direction, right? Because this can't go that way, but this could potentially go that way. Remaining digits in column 6 are 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So for 2, it's exactly one direction. For 6, it's 3 directions. That's not too helpful. For the quarter circles, obviously, it's one direction. Maybe, yeah. It's hard. Let's look at the directions from the 4. Obviously, this is not going to work that way, but if it's 1, then it has to be 1 going here or 1 going here. If it's 2, it's either it... Oh, 2 directions. Oh, can this actually ever be 2 then? So if this is 2, that forces this to be 6 and that to be 2. This has to have 2 directions adding up to 2, but it can't be in a horizontal and vertical direction. So one of them, they would both have to be diagonal. So it would have to be diagonal this way and diagonal this way, but this is diagonal that way would have to be a 2 there, which is not possible. So this cannot be 2 here. 3 cannot go this way, cannot go that way. So it would have to be one direction here, one direction here. So if this were 3, that's interesting. That would force this to be 3 here. This would have to be at least, it could be 1, 1, and 1 adding up. It can't add up this way, can't add up that way. And it has to add up this way. So this is 1 and 2. Which means no 1, 2, or 3 here, no 2 here. This is 4, 5, and 6. This would have to be, cannot be 3. It's 1 or 2. This cannot be 3. Therefore, this is 1. So it has to be 2 in this direction, at least. It can't be a third one because it would go that way. It would have to go that way and at least, at least this way. And this cannot be 2, so this would be 1, which would make this 2, which would make that 1, which would make that 2. So then I guess it would be that way, and this would be 6, that would be 2. And this does actually work as 2 and 2. So that actually does kind of work. Huh. So, no, this is not 2, this is 6, so no 2 or 6 here. No 2 here, no 3 here, no 2 or 3 here, no 2 or 3 here. So can this add up to 4? It cannot be this way because it would be 2 and 2. It could be this way. So that would be 3 and 1. It can't be here. It can't be here. Because it would have to be 1, 3 here. This can't work. It cannot work horizontally until you have 3 and 1. So that could potentially work here. This would have a 2. And so that would be 1. So this does kind of work. The 2 has 2 arrows that way. This would have to be 5. 4 cannot go that way, cannot go that way, can't go this way. This can't be 1, 3 because of 3 in the row. So it has to be 3, 1 that way. And that's one direction. So then this would be 1, this would be 6, and this would be 5. No 6 here. So this is set. This can't be 1. So this has 1, 2, and 3. This has 1 and 2, adding up to 2. So it cannot be 1 and 1 here. There's no 1 here. This can't be 1. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, but this can't be 1 because otherwise this would have 2 arrows possible. 6 eliminates 6 here, so it's 4. There's no 4 here, there's no 4 here. So this must be able to add up to 4 in 2 directions. It cannot be this way, it cannot be this way, it cannot be this way, so it must be this way and that way. So then this is 4. And then it has to go at least 2 in that direction. So this would have to be less than 4. So I think we'd have to have 1 here and 3 here. This can't be 3 or 4, it's 5. This can't be 3 or 5, it's 4. And we have a contradiction, because we have 4 here and 4 here. So that's why this can't be 3. Which means it has to be 1. Okay. That was a long, convoluted way of doing that, but okay. So then this is 1. There's no 1 here, no 1 here, no 1 here. And then this must be either going 1 that way or 1 this way. So we know there's a guaranteed 1 in one of these 2 cells. We're not sure which. One of these is 5. One of them is 1 also. One of them's 3. And it's either 2 or 6, which is a full circle. So this has to be 2, 3, 5, or 6, and this is 2, 3, 5, or 6 also. Because 1 is guaranteed to be one of these 2 cells, so that this matches the arrow in that circle. This has 1. Could be 2, 2. Could be 1, 3. Could be 3, 1 or 2, 2. Could be 1, 3. So those are all the possibilities. This can't work that way. Cannot work this way. Ooh. Can't work this way. Can't work this way because it can no longer be 3, 1. Could work this way or it could work this way. So either this is, well, it could be 2, 1, 1, technically. Or it could be 4, or it could be 3, 1 in some sort of order. Okay. If this is 6, it would have to be 3 directions. So 3 directions that way. It could be 2, 3, 1 or 2, 4. Cannot go this way. Can't go that way because it cannot add up to 6 this way with 2 digits. So this would be ruled out. This would be ruled out. It would have to be that way and that way and that way. Huh. Okay. That's interesting. So this also can't go that direction there either. So this one has to go either that way or this direction. If this is 6, this is 2, so the rest of the column can't be 2. If this is 2, it cannot be 1, 1 here. So it can't go 1, 1 here, can't go 1, 1 here, or that direction. So it would have to be either 2 here or 2 here. So then we're guaranteed one of these 3 is 2. Oops. Which means this cannot be 2. So then this has to be 1, 3, 5, or 6 there. So this could go this way if it's 2, 2. It can't go this way. It could go that way if it's 1, 3. Could go this way if it's 3, 1. And it could go this way if it's 1, 3 in that direction. So those are all possible. One has to be one of these 3 digits here. This can't be 1 here. So we have 2 through 6 here. Five in multiple directions. Can this be 5? I didn't really emphasize the negative constraint here, but hopefully people understand that when I said all possible clues have been given. I didn't really do a good job of making an example of that, though. Yeah. So, remaining digits in row 1 are 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. This cannot be 1. If we have a 1 here, that means we're guaranteed a 1 either here or here, which means there you can draw an arrow that way. But there is no full circle there. So this cannot be 1. So we know 1 has to be one of these 4 here. What else do we have? If this were a 2, that would force this to be 6, and that would be 2. And the number of directions would be it'd be exactly half. And so it would have to have a half circle here. So this cannot be 2 there. Interesting. 2 would have to have either 1, 1 in one direction and 2 in another direction. So what happens if we have, well, 2 can't have 1, 1 going that way. So if we try to have 2 here, you can't have 1, 1 or 1, 1 there. And you can only have 1, 2 in this direction because you can't have 2 in this direction. So this can never be 2. And you can't have 1, 1 here because of 1 in the row here. 2 here could have 1, 1, and then 2 in the other direction. So that works. 2 could have 1, 1 here. 2 could have 1, 1 here and 2 here. So 2 could be satisfied for all of those. Five could work. Um, okay. Um, yeah. Oh, this cannot be 1. If this is 1, obviously this works, but it also works the other way and would have to have a full circle. So this cannot be 1 here, which means this is guaranteed to be 1 there. So these match both ways for the arrow. So this cannot be 1 that way. Obviously none of these are 1 anymore. That's interesting. So 2 has to be one of these 2 digits. So if we had a 2 here, that would force this to be 6 and that to be 2. But then we'd have a 2 going that way for an arrow and a 2 possibly going that way as an arrow. Either way, you'd have either a half circle or a full circle there. So this cannot be 2 here, which means this is 2. This is 6, which means this can't be 6 this way. This can't be 6, so this cannot... Okay, so 4 has to be 1 and 3 in one of these directions, or it can't be that way. It could be that way, too. It could be 2 and 2. 6 cannot be here, because 4, 1, and 2 adds up to 7. 4, 1 adds up to 5. Cannot go this way, because 2, 3 adds up to 5. 2, 5 adds up to 7. So it must be these directions here. So this has to go that way. This has to go that way. This must go at least there. So then this cannot be 5. It's 3 or 4. This could be 3, 5, or 6. This can't be 6 because it has to go this direction. This must be going with a 2 somewhere. Again, this can't be 2. Because if that's 2, it sees 1 that way, it would have to be a half circle. So it must mean this is 2 here or 2 here, because neither of them can be 1. So that means we're guaranteed a 2 here or 2 here, which eliminates 2 in the rest of the column. This has to be either, so adding up, it would have to be either 132 or 1 5. It can never be 4. So we have that. So 2 has to be one of these two, which means this can't be 2. So we have 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. Um, I mean, heck, this could go 4, 2, 2 there too. Hmm. So if when it goes this way, it could be 6 here. It could be 3, 1. Sorry, 3, 3 there, or 5, 1 there. This could be 2, 3, 1, or 2, 4. This could be 1, 3, 2, or 1, 5. Um. hmm. Interesting. Um, 6 obviously cannot work either of these ways. So again, that's why we have the guaranteed 3 there. So I don't feel like we need to put the X for that one. Um, yeah, these negative constraints are very interesting. Hmm. 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 Um, hmm. So if we have 2 here, that means it sees 2, it sees 1, 1 in one direction, or 2 in two directions. Obviously can't be 1, 1 here, it could be 1, 1 that way. If we see 2 here, um, it cannot have a 2 there. What are the other possibilities? Okay, 6 cannot go. If this is 6, that means it can't work that way because this would be at minimum it would be 2, 3, 2, 5, or 2, 3, 5 as a sum this way. So that doesn't work. Could go 6 there. Could go 2, 4 there. So that could work. Could go that direction. Could go that direction. Could go that direction. Hmm. So no restrictions there, really. Interesting. If this is 2, however, that means we have to have, well, it could be 1, 1. Hmm. Oh, that's interesting. So what happens if that's 2 and this is 1, 1? Oh. Huh. You can never have 1 and 1. These ones cannot be diagonally with any of these ones here. Because if it were to be the case, the problem is this would have to match. It would have to be a complete full circle because the number of directions is exactly equal to the digit. Because 1 cannot be here because we have this scenario. And again, if 1 diagonally fits with any of these, then there would have to be a full circle around it. So specifically, this can't work. And this can't work, because if this is 1, that means either of these are 1, and you'd have to be able to draw a line there, and these would have to have a full circle, because they have only one direction exactly matching their digit. So we have a 1 guaranteed here and a 1 guaranteed here in row 2 and row 3, and specifically in columns 1 and 3, which eliminates 1 in the rest of the columns. So this must be 1 here. And since this is 1 here, this can't be 1, because if that's 1, this would have to be a full circle also. Whereas 1 in row 2, it must be here, which means this can't be 1, which means this is a 1 here. Interesting. So this cannot be a full 2 because it can't go 1, 1 that way, this way, or this way. In fact, we have 5 1s. We know where the last 1 has to be. It has to be there. If we try to have 2 going in 2 directions, we only have 1 available, just this way. Can't go either of these, can't go here, can't go horizontally or vertically. So this cannot be 2 here. So where's the 2 in row 4? It's either here or here. If 2 is here, it has to have force of 2 that way. If this is 2, obviously it goes 2 there, and it goes 2 here. So one of these then has to be a 2, which means this cannot be 2 here. Remaining digits of row 2 are 2 through 6. This cannot go this way now, because it has an even digit plus a 1, and it can't be 2, 1, 1. So even digit plus a 1 is never going to add up to 4, so it cannot go this way. It has to go this way. So this is 1 and 3 to add up. We can remove these. That eliminates 3 in the rest of the row and column. So this has to go this... Oh, wait, this could be 4. Never mind. Okay, let's remove that then. This could be 4. Ugh. Okay. So if this were 2, if this is 2, this has to be 6. That's 4. 2 has to have 2 directions of arrows. So it'd have to be that way and that way. So then this would be 2. So no 2 or 4 here. No 6s here. So no 2 there. No 2 here. No 2 here. So that would be 2 in that direction, 2 in that direction. No 4 here, no 6 here. So obviously that way doesn't work. No one. Oh, this can't be 1 anyways. Two, 2, and 2. Can either of these be 5? Well, if this is 5, then this cannot. I guess it could be 3, 2 then. That could work that way. Hmm. This has to be 3 ways adding up to 6, 2 ways adding up to 4. So obviously this doesn't work that way. This doesn't work that way. It cannot work this way because it's 3. It can't work this way. It can't work this way. So that's going to be only one direction where you could have 4. So therefore, we know this cannot be 2. So this cannot be 2 here, because if we tried that, we forced 2 there. This is 6, that's 4. 4 cannot add up to 4 this way, cannot add up to 4 that way. It's a single digit. Can't add up to 4 that way, it's 1. Can't add up to 4 this way, it would be 2 and 3 at least, or 3 by itself, which obviously doesn't work. So this cannot be 2, which means this has to be 2 here, and this must be 2 here. This 2 has to see 1 digit in the same arrow. So this can't be 2 here, because this is only sees 1. That you can write an arrow in. This then goes that way. So then this is 2, which means this can't be 2 here. This has to see 2 2s in directions. So it has to be then there. So then this goes that way. This is a 2, which eliminates 2 here. This can't be 1. Where is 2 in column 6? It must be there. And it's the remaining 2. That leaves this as 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 3, 4, 5, 6. This has 1, 2 in an arrow, which is half of 2. This has 2 arrows, which is the full 2. This 1 arrow, 0. So now it cannot go this way, because it's 2. The sum is either 2, 3, or 6 at least. So this must be 4, 1, and 3. This can't be 2 or 3, because of 2 or 3 in the row. No 3 here, no 3 here. So we don't need these. This goes that way. So 4, 1, 3. 2 can never add up with these digits, so that's fine. It's 0. 1 can never add up with these digits. That's 0. 3. You could have 1, so that could work. We have 3, 5, and 6 here then. 6 is interesting. That means it has to be 6 directions, and it cannot be any of the horizontal directions. It has to be all the vertical directions. Sorry, it has to be all the other directions, I should say. This can't be 6 then. If this is 6, 1, 4 is eliminated. It would have to be 5 and 3 at least, or at most 5. So that doesn't work. You could have 3, 2, 1 here, but you cannot have 2 plus another digit adding up to 6, which is 3 and 5. So this cannot be 6 here. 6 here doesn't work because you have 2 here, you have 5 and 3 here. You have 2 and 1 in this direction, and there's no, you can't have 6 directions work then. So this can't be 6. Therefore, this is 6. Cannot go this, actually, it could go this direction. Ooh. Could go this direction as 3, 3. Could go this direction as 2, 4. Cannot go this direction. So this direction is removed. Could go that way. Could go that way. What about 5? 5 cannot go here, cannot go here, cannot go here, can't go here. That's 4 directions removed, so that can't be 5. This is 3. So this is 3, that's 5. So this does go that way. 5 goes that way. Oops. So we have 5, which makes this 3, that 4, and that 6. So this is 1, 3, and 2. To add up to 6. This is either 6 by itself or it's 5, 1. So it can't be 3. There's no 3 here. Whereas the 3 in column 5, it must be here. That's 3, which makes this 5, which makes that 3. That leaves that as 4, so that's 6 there. Which means this can't be 6, that's 5, that's 4. 5 eliminates 5 here, so it's 6. And we have 4, 2, 2 there. So that's fine. No 4 or 6 here, it's 5. That leaves that as 4. No 4 this way, this can't be 3, so it's 5, and that's 3. Therefore, we know that's 5 and 6. So let's double check to make sure these are all kosher. Okay. We know this is 6. So 5 cannot draw a line here. This is either 1, 4, or 6 as sums. It could draw a line here. That's 4 and 1. Can't draw a line here. It's 6. So it's 1, which is not going to match a full, a half, or a quarter circle. 6, 3. That's 3. That's 5. This is 1. This is 5 or 9. This is 4 or 9. This is 3, 4, or 8. So 0 directions. 3, 1, and 5. 2 and 4. 5, 4, and 6. So 0 directions. 1 has 0 directions. 4 adds up to 1 and 3. 2, 1, and 6. 6, 3, and 2. So that satisfies that quarter circle. 2 has 0 directions. This is 4, 3, and 6. 1, 0 directions. So 4. These are all singletons, so that doesn't work. And this is 5 and 5. This would be 1 and 6, so 0 directions. Here, 5. Singletons that way. 5 is 4 and 1, which does work, so that's 1 direction. 1, 6, so 1, 7. 5 and 5, that's 2 directions. 5, 2, and 6 doesn't work. 5, 4, and 1, 3 directions. But it's not a quarter or a half of the digit or a full digit. So that doesn't matter. 2 only goes to 2 here. That's 1, so that's half of 2. 6, these are all singletons. That's a singleton. 6 to 6 is 1. You have 2, 1, and then, so it's 2, sum of 2, sum of 3, sum of 8, which none of which add up. Sum of 4, sum of 10, sum of 2, and sum of 7. So this has 1 direction, but that's not full, half, or quarter of 6. 3, singletons. That's 6, 6, 2, or 7. So 0 directions there. So these are all satisfied. 3, 1, 1 and 6 total, 4 total, 5 total, 2 and 8 total, 3 and 3, so 1 direction. but that's not half or full or quarter. 5 here. 4 or 10 singleton, or sorry, 1 1 5. So it's 5 here, 1 direction, 2 directions. 6 here, 3 directions, 2 and then 3. So 3 directions, but that's not full, half, or quarter. 1 does not have any ones around it, so 0. 4 5 in that direction, 2 3, 6 2 8, 1 6, 1 2, 5 and 6. So 0 directions. 2 has that, and that's it. So that's satisfied. 6 has 6 going that way, 2 4, and 1 3 2. So that's 3 in that direction, so that's fine. 2 has just 2 going there. I can't. Why can't I go diagonally? Ugh. That was painful. So that's done. 3 has 3 going that way. 1 2. 3 5 6 4 6 2. So 3 can go this way. 3 goes 1 2 that way, and 3 goes 2 1 that way. That's 3 directions, which matches exactly what that digit is. 6 has 1 5 5 1 5 1 4 2 3 3 and 2 4, which is 6 directions. I didn't even have to do anything for that one. That was interesting. 5 has 1 4 2 3, so that's 2. 1 4, that's 3. No 4 and 6, no 6. 4 and 1, 4 and 5, and no 3 and 9. So that's 5, which is satisfied there. This is 1 and 1. That's the only ones around there, so that's satisfied. This is satisfied. 4 has 2 and 2. No 6, 1 and 6, 1 and 6, 5. So the only direction is that way, which is a quarter. 6 has 2 1 2 3 1, 2 and 4, 3 1 2. That's 3 directions. It does not have 4 and 1 there, so that's satisfied there. 2 has only the 2 going that way and 2 going that way, so that's satisfied. Ugh. So therefore this is satisfied also, because that's the only 2 it has access to. 4 can go 3 and 6, that's 0. 6, 5, 3 and 8. 6, 2, 1, 2 and 6, so that's 0. 3, that's 6, 5, 1, 7, 5, 3, so that's 1 direction. 6, 2, 4. So 1 direction, which is not half full, half a quarter. 5 has 5, 5 here. So 5 here. 1, 2, and 9. 4, 1, 5, 3, 6, 3, and 7. So that's 2 directions, which is not full, half, or quarter. 4 has 6, 2, 1, 3, 9. 0 directions. 1 has no ones around it, so that's 0 directions. 6 has 4, 7, 3, 8, 5, 9, 3, 8, 2, 3, and 7, so 0 directions. 3 has 1 here. 5, 1, 5, 6, 1 direction, which is not full, half, or quarter. 5 has 1 here, 2 here. And 3 and 9, so that's 2 directions, which is not full, half, or quarter, so this must be a 5. Interesting. So the negative constraint was extremely important. I hope my not emphasizing that what didn't lead people astray. Obviously, as I got more into this, it obviously became more of this negative constraint is very important. So But I didn't emphasize that at the beginning when I was reading the rules. And apologies for that if I didn't emphasize that enough. Anyways, that's the solve. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.